Redditors who have a job where they go into other people's homes, plumbers, electricians, etc. What's the weirdest, most disturbing thing you've seen while working in a customer's house? Was a carrier for the post office. When you first start you only have one route one day a week. Every other day you cover for someone who calls in sick or is on vacation or something like that. So one day I covered for a different carrier who was sick. I get to one house and they have 4 packages. On the front door there was a sign that said please don't knock or ring, just open door and leave the packages behind the door. So I'm like, okay, this is weird, but whatever, it must happen a lot because the sign was old and dusty. So I open the door, go in, the house is normal. I bend down to put the packages down neatly. As I rise back up there is this old dude, had to be like 60 to 70, just standing there in tight ass jeans, tight ass tank top with a clearly dyed jet black mustache, drinking beer out of a can with a straw. I naturally got scared for a second. So I tell him, sorry, you scared me. I didn't see you there. And he just says that's cause I wasn't here. So I just say well I'm sorry and start to leave, and he says hold up, where is so-in? So I say oh she is sick, so I will be covering for her today and possibly tomorrow, and his words verbatim were nice, maybe she should stay sick a while, I'll make sure to wear something cute tomorrow. I fake laugh and got the hell up out of there. Disturbing? Not at all. Weird? A bit. I was a medical equipment delivery guy for a couple years. Went into a dementia patient's house and had to instruct his caretaker on how to set up a large tank of O2. As I was kneeling down, my phone went off with my really low-key notification tone, which was a singular beep. Well, the pet bad nearby seemed to have taken a shine to that noise and mimicked it perfectly in tone and volume. The caretaker and I looked at one another, with her saying I've been here for 6 years and he's never done that before. From then on, every time I delivered and knelt down to re-educate the caretaker, SOP demands it, that bad would instinctively ping me until I let my phone notification sound go off, after which the bird would celebrate by bobbing his head up and down and turning in a circle. Edit. This blew up. The patient is staying. Something tells me a caretaker for a dementia patient would need quite a bit of it. Friendly reminder to check in on your older friends and family who choose to live alone or with very little supervision with home care. They miss you a lot. Used to deliver oxygen to people's homes. Saw plenty of weird things. Lots of hoarders, but this one took the cake. He didn't want to let us into his house, but I had to do a home safety assessment before I could set up the equipment. He was anxious about letting me in because his house was mess. He kept telling me about his messy house. Come to find out, it wasn't just messy. It was filled with 200 chickens. He was proud of his show chickens and wouldn't let them live in a barn or coop. The smell was unbearable. Other than that, he was a super nice guy. I was a paramedic in Oakland, and once I was in a home where a child has been bitten by a rat in her crib. As we were standing there talking to the mother about her options, a rat walked up to one of the firefighters and bit his boot. The firefighters stomped the rat to death and the rat was taken to the health department for testing. That was a strange situation. I once helped renovate an old building that was a house but converted to a business and was super rundown when my employer bought it. We did a ton of work, including removing subflooring and ceilings. We found a hidden cellar in the back suite, once the kitchen or mudroom. The thing was filled with trash and random odds and ends. There were GI water ration cans dated 1956. In the middle suite we kept finding spoons in the ceiling as we were taking it down. It was weird, but then we realized that it was where a junkie kept touching their spoons. Edit. Suite, as in office space, not menswear. Fire alarm inspector. Working in a cheap long-term hotel and knocked on a door where a larger man dressed in essentially a purple bikini opens the door half asleep. Entered to test the smoke detector and tried to keep my eyes off the bed, but I knew I had seen something. Tried not to look, but I did, and there's a big old purple dildo next to the TV remote. The detector then decides to not alarm in a timely fashion, so I'm just staring at the wall hoping it will alarm. So I get out of the room. Bunch of used pregnancy tests on the floor of the teenage daughter's closet. I didn't say a damn word to anybody. I used to do flooring, and when we had to get up the subflooring due to water damage, underneath it there was a black garbage bag. When I opened, said bag it had a bunch of women's clothes in it. Didn't think anything about it until we dumped it out and found bloody ripped underwear and torn dresses. Told the owner we had forgot some stuff at work and wouldn't be back until tomorrow. Called the police and never went back. The house was soon up for sale a month or so later. Just read a post in another subreddit about a girl with social anxiety who hid under her bed when the plumbers came, and then the plumbers caught her under there. And then she ran and hid in the bathroom until they left. Wonder if those plumbers are on Reddit. I most definitely want to hear their side. I was installing alarm systems, and one day I went out on a service call, stepped into a literal cesspool, and thanked God for my plastic booties to protect my shoes from walking on their disgusting carpet. Was shown to the alarm panel, and when I pulled the panel off the wall to see why it was not powering on, an army of roaches started scurrying out of the wall. Turns out the panel died because several roaches had electrocuted themselves on the circuit board. I tutor privately, so sometimes I meet clients at their homes. One lady had a huge shrine to Bob Burdella, which is really confusing because usually women attracted to serial killers gravitate toward the attractive ones. Was a carpet cleaner. Porn. So much porn. You guys, like, so much porn. Probably the weirdest and most disturbing was the gay couple who had an entire room of framed photos of them in different positions and outfits and/or various states of undress they liked to watch while I cleaned that room. I kept my eyes low and didn't focus on any specific one or make eye contact with them. Just kept about my business steaming the carpets and pretended there wasn't anything unusual about what I or they were doing. Definitely a weird kink of some kind. My area historically has been very conservative and repressed, so I don't know, maybe that factors in. They tipped well, so I kept my mouth shut for the most part and just made sure when their address came up that I always got that job. I delivered pizza, but for older customers I'd always go into their homes to bring it inside for those who were severely handicapped or just didn't have the strength to bring their food inside. One time I delivered to this lady who was covered in cat hair, head to toe, and the inside of her house was rancid. I mean, I couldn't go in there without holding my breath every time. One time I went, and she had in her kitchen on a table a paper plate with what looked like teeth. And I mean a lot of teeth, different colors and shapes, and just horrifically repulsive. Don't know whose teeth they were, from what I could tell she had all if not most. Haven't heard any stories about her since, so I'm guessing she moved or something else. Never will forget that smell though. Ugh. I'm a face painter who does children's birthday parties. I've never had any super sketchy experiences, just a few rundown homes, but the kids always have fun. I went to one house, kinda messy and smelly, but no big deal. I started setting up my supplies, and I heard a weird peep sound above me. I look up to see a guinea pig running through a clear plastic tube attached to the ceiling. Then I take a good look around the house and notice the whole place is covered with a network of guinea pig tubes. The mom noticed me looking around and nonchalantly told me they have like 10 guinea pigs. My uncle is a handyman and he went in to do some work for a family and the toilet was just fesses. Not like someone didn't flush, rather nobody did, and the bowl was just crammed full of hardened stool, which had clearly been an accumulating scenario. I painted a girl's room one time while she laid in bed and played on her phone and took naps. I knocked and expected her to leave, but she just lay back down. It was very strange. I'm a property assessor. We occasionally need to do walkthroughs of new homes when they are non-traditional builds and or unique. I had made an appointment to review a new house that was infill in an older neighborhood. Beautiful house, was modern but managed to not look out of place amongst the rest of the houses that it abutted. I was met at the door by Mrs. and two preschoolers. Very nice people. So I'm doing a room to room, making notes asking about finishes etc. And I get to the spare bedroom. Boom. Floor to ceiling Nazi shrine. It was very artistically done and was full of artifacts. One of the kids says this is dad's office. I didn't even bat an eyelash, just kept moving, noted floor/wall finish, and moved to the next room. Thanked Mrs. for her time and hit the road. Pretty tame by this post's standards, but I'll always remember it. I have a bunch of Star Wars Lego in our spare bedroom lol. I went to install a tube style skylight in a bathroom. Owners had the gayest bathroom I've ever seen. It was impressive. Think Roman decor, marble and everything involved a penis. Light switch, TP holder, towel rack, shower curtain hooks. All dicks. Not really disturbing, but still shocking. I'm a personal care assistant for elderly clients. I go into their homes and essentially just assist them with day-to-day activities. While organizing one of my clients' wardrobes, I found a stack of about 20 unopened Magnum Trojan condoms. This particular client is in her late 80s. Get it, granny? I have a story from my cousin, a plumber. I honestly don't remember full details, but he told me the homeowner was one of those I put aged urine in my eyes because it's good for me people, and had jars of pee ranging in color all around the house. Everything in the house smelled like pee except the bathroom, which smelled entirely of S***T. Apparently there was just S***T everywhere because the person had no working toilet for over a month and just kept S***TTING inside of the already S***T-FILLED toilet. He basically stopped the story there because he was visibly getting sick just thinking about it again. I will never ever be a plumber, I can tell you that much. I'm training to be a residential property appraiser in Miami FL. The guy I work for does everything from $10+ million mansions and foreclosures. A good rule in the business is never open the fridge in a foreclosure. It's no longer 07, so most foreclosures we run into are old people who've got no family and can't take care of themselves and can't take care of the properties. Super sad S***T to run into. Worst thing I've seen is a hoarder who obviously had some mental deficiencies. The appraisal was for a refinance on his property. The place stunk. We couldn't get into half the rooms because the doors were boarded up, and he had a ton of dogs. The guy was super confused why we were there and said his bank guy told him the appraisal fee was about 3 times what we normally charge. Luckily on that one we basically told the bank it looked like his bank guy was trying to scam the dude without explicitly saying so. They cancelled the appraisal, so we didn't get paid for it, but me and my boss agreed the bad karma was worth the loss. I was a delivery boy in high school and would occasionally deliver to 2 people who genuinely freaked me the F***K out. The first one was an incredibly large man with elephantiasis. It's tough to believe in God after seeing something like that. Plus the smell. This one and the next one probably didn't bathe ever. Was really sad. The second one I think had HIV or AIDS before we had real treatments. He had what looked to me like hundreds, if not 1,000 injection marks all over his body. He lived all alone in a small mobile home that had metal stairs going up to reach the door, and by the time I reached the first step the smell was already upon me. These people lived horrible and lonely lives. The second guy would often tip me with wet, crumpled up bills that smelled like him. Real estate photographer. Seen plenty of dildos and women's underwear. Lots of weed laying around, and kids skipping school to bang or get high, but one incident sticks out. Wasn't disturbing but totally weird. Client was wealthy and had a very nice home. Her and her husband were home while I was shooting, and I asked the woman if I could remove her pink robe which was hanging on the shower door. She replied, "Feel free to put it on." Caught me off guard, but I just moved it aside. This woman was beautiful BTW. Petite and fit. She has tasteful nude photos of her around the house. So I keep moving through the house to shoot, and I told her I was about to wrap up but needed to photograph her walk-in closest, to which she replied, "Try on anything you want." I didn't take her up on her off, finished the shoot and left. I used to do crisis mental health assessments to determine if the person needed to be forced to the hospital. One person was paranoid that his bathroom was contaminated and that black tar from cigarettes would rain down on him if he went in there. So he'd be going to the bathroom in a bucket and hadn't showered in months. His bedroom had some S***T buckets in it, but also at least 200 empty cartons of goat milk because that was the only thing he'd eat. Damn, I wish I would stopped with the guinea pig tubes. Why? Handyman here was called to a blocked sink at a lady's house. So I get to the door and she opens it, and the house was like Del's Umbridge's office. Every wall, shelf and horizontal surface was covered in decorative plates, figurines, teapots, and stuff. The hallway was eclemy, and one plumbing toolbox wide between occasional tables, and shelves with more tat on them. That was the most nervous, slowest walk I made through anyone's house, trying not to knock anything over. She was friendly enough and made tea, but even then I had to turn around slowly, and be careful not bump anything, or knock anything over. I once saw a carpeted bathroom. I was visiting someone's house to see an antique table I was interested in buying. The walls had black spots all around. When asked, he told me those are from candles which I use to burn mosquitoes. Quite a while back I used to install high-end entertainment systems, home theaters and distributed audio for people who didn't know what to do with their money. Smallest house we ever worked on was 7,500 square feet. My boss called me in to do a distributed audio and cascade lighting system in a new construction. We spent about an hour with the client, nice guy, building a 14k square foot house. First floor is your typical rich person place: library, study, game room, great room, labeled ballroom, dining room. Up the hill slightly was the second level, kind of stared up the slope. 3 suites and a 6-bedroom attached guest house. Down the slope on the way to the shore of the lake it was a gym, kitchen, a theater, and then a room labeled special. I'm like, hey. He had very specific requirements for special, very high-end hidden speakers, a screen that came out of a hidden ceiling pocket, multimedia projector in a hidden pocket in the rear. Mind you, this was a while ago, so the ***T was very expensive. We do the job, things work. In my mind, special is an orgy room or something. About 6 months after he's moved into the place, I get a call for tech support. Since the hidden pockets were a custom job, I figured it was that. Turns out it was a burnt bulb on the projector, and I discovered what special was. It was a chapel, with a 1-person pew in front of an absolute shrine, orthodox icons on every surface of the walls, shelves around the room with relics. Like illegal relics, like human remains transported internationally, relics, Christian antiques, by my masters in religion, no less than 500 to 1300 years old. I'm very secret about this, please don't let anyone know I have it. Oh, I told people. I didn't tell anyone his name, and I won't, because outwardly he's a nice, giving, charitable man. But that room weirded me out massively. I design custom closets, and I've seen multiple senior couples have sex dice and dildos just out in the open with no shame. I was doing a mural on a wall for the apartment of one of my best friend's brothers. This was my first time going to his place after knowing him for a little over 15 years. To my surprise, he had maybe 10 of those Rubbermaid bins just with snakes in them, just laying in the living room, all kinds of snakes, different breeds or whatever, different colors, sizes. Completely threw me off guard. When I asked him about it, he says, oh, that's nothing. Takes me into this other room where there were glass tanks all around maybe 3 walls of the room. There had to be damn near 40 snakes total in his apartment. I'm like, how do you feed these things, dude? Like, don't you ever wake up in the middle of the night scared for your life? We live in New York City, so something like that isn't something you see every day or hear about every day. And I don't think his neighbors know what's going on in that place, lol. I had to install a bunch of blocking in a ceiling for a sex swing. Geez, lotter up votes. I'll just say this gig was for 2 very large people, hence the bunch part. I sandwiched 4 2x12 together and SDS screwed them in from each side of the joists. Not weird or disturbing, but this has always stuck with me. I used to deliver pizzas. I delivered to this elderly couple. The lady answered the door in a nightie and wearing 1 sock. She was taking her time to get her money, so I browsed around their setup inside. The only thing they had hung up on their wall was a 5x7 photo of Abraham Lincoln. That's it. I go into a lot of flop houses and slum buildings. Hobos use litter boxes for a bathroom. I stepped in people poop a couple of times. Went into a place one time where a group of 4 or 5 were zonked out. Heroin probably. None of them woke up, and one of them, I wasn't sure, was alive. We called the cops for a welfare check. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.